chances you could focus on lane. Nami's very good against Morgana because Black Shield holds almost no value. He's poked away with the W. The ebb and flow can do a lot.
Especially if that means strength in the laning phase. But Tarzan, he's coming in already. That's the binding to land after the knock-up. Heal comes out. Baki will be dying, and first blood will go to Viper.
And Tarzan up.
Scryer's Bloom not going to spot the Zac, but he cancels the back. They are going to look for it. Morning Mist isn't going to land. And in we go. Elastic Slingshot isn't going to hit, as there's the baby cage, but Leap Strike is going to be good there from Sword. Tarzan makes his way through. Good double knock up there as Tal. Already very low, but Sword, he's the one getting taken down to sub 100 health. There's the bonk. Sword flashes away. Ward goes in, the flash from Bono to follow up and even out the kill score.
And Jarvan plus just AP stacking Lissandra is going to be huge burst damage. Speaking of huge burst.
Yep, finding he's going to go wide, but look at the explosion of damage. Tarzan takes out the Kalista basically instantly, and Griffin have a 2-kill. I just don't know whether they're going to be able to fight this one. In goes Bono one more time. Not going to be able to get the boot back because the Black Shield stays alive. Ignite down onto Viper there as Lava uses it that he picked up earlier, but another condemn into the wall. Songyun has the heal, tries to get himself away, but it's not going to work. He's going to die as well. It's 3 kills as Lissandra turns up, and Bono has to flash to safety. Hanwha and Griffin are going to take so much.
Just had that first gank attempt onto the Jax. It all looks very sloppy today from Hanwha Life. It's almost like they woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
They go in super early with the Zac. They don't wait for the tidal wave, so it just comically misses as it glides in, and then Lava's just going to be caught on the turret.
Yep, hasn't actually used the portal jump yet. Uses it very late as Tarzan almost goes down to take down this turret, which is just a trade for the bottom lane that's going to be inner as well.
And the frustrating part for the coach is they make the correct decision of, we can't lane with double flash disadvantage in the bot lane. Let's just go and pile up onto Jax's lane. He has a lot of things, but not wave clear, where the execution is wholly off. And you're going to have to really wake up these players. Maybe some prescriptions of caffeine between games going to be needed because they don't wake up.
The Jax, but a large reason why it didn't necessarily crush the lane is because he had Uzi on his team. And Uzi gets priority in all sides. Control in general as the binding is going to sneak by. As Viper going aggressive underneath this turret. That's going to be the ult used there, but Viper now has to use the heal as he has to use barrier at the same time. That's a terrible move. But they're just too far ahead, Griffin. That's going to mean that the Jarvan's going to be able to secure it. Good boot back there onto Chovy, but he's made it to the relative safety of underneath this turret and still has his Frozen Tomb available. Tarzan waiting for it, but doesn't actually have enough damage after that.
Viper and Lehen's begun. Their turret dive was ill-fated and almost turned on. Lista flashed in for a kill and found a Jarvan. Not the very smart first 20 minutes.
Yeah, precisely. It is going to be a Cloud Drake. Not exactly a favorite, especially if you have a chat to LS. Changing up how he plays his early game. That level 2 gank was fantastic. Bono's going to try and have one last-ditch effort, but Tarzan's just going to walk out of there. Tidal Wave goes completely wide as Julia is going to be the first target. She gets knocked up. That's the flag and drag into the Cataclysm. And immediately Lehen's goes for the engage as well. It's a double stun as Chovy comes on down. Fate's Call isn't going to bring Key far enough out as Lehen's. He's going to die. No stopwatch is going to keep him alive. Sword's just having a field day in the enemy base, and despite the fact that it's only Songyun going down, Griffin will be able to claim so much from this.
They're just styling on them on the map list. It's just too easy for Griffin. We like a lot of the Jarvan point is definitely pot kettle black.
And a little bit of it is, okay, there's actually a fight that's going to break out. Lava has to flash. One more auto from Viper will do it. Gets him as he gets the vision as well from the Scryer. Get the flash, and that means the Griffin are going to get the Baron. There is absolutely no way the Zac can get his smite in there. Tarzan takes a lot of damage from it, but now the Jax is super powered. Some good assessments based on the losses that Griffin suffered in last week's games, but then unfortunately it not working is, speaking of not working, Songyun down to about 100 health and has to get the hell back to base. This might open the base here for Griffin to come in and take down their first inhibitor of the game. But being able to pick the Yorick that early, that was a flex, saying that Sword isn't going to be able to do anything about it. And I can understand exactly why Hanwha would make that decision, and Griffin have actually answered it and done a decent job as the fight is going to break out. Kidnap does work, but it doesn't actually bring anyone back forward because Black Shield is just too strong. Fate's Call comes out there from Songyun, but Sword is just too powerful. He dives on forward. It's a triple kill. Instantly make that a quadra. My God, that's insane. It's only the triple to come forward as Chovy steals that one away, but the Jax is too strong. And Hanwha They have to reevaluate. We're going to go to game number 2 with a Griffin that has reawoken after a terrifying week 8. Week 9. You can't say that it's not, but of course it is not now, as the Morgana's going to be locked
Couldn't
in.
it be Morgana like the one?
Exactly the largest number to get through.
He really wants that Doran shield to keep ticking. It's going to be 410 or so when this starts.
Yep, ghouls are going to come up here as Tarzan's taking a fair bit of damage. Tanking up the turret now as well as Tal will go down, but it's a 1-for-1. Doesn't feel too bad here.
Tarzan doesn't get the EQ damage. If he did, your thought is that maybe you live on a sliver or the minions just take you down as top lane.
Yep, Q is going to land there. That's a really cute flash to come out from Sword, who survived for so long, but Tal eventually takes him down. Now Bono's in trouble. The auto attack from Chovy is going to do it, but now has his life been forfeit? Tarzan gets a nice knock up, and the answer looks to be no, as Chovy even happy to turn this one around. Gets himself the passive shield as Lava going down low. It's a double kill now for the Jarvan, and the
teleport. It is a ranged support that just shuts down Rakan. It was always the way, right? Caitlyn Rakan against Caitlyn Morgana inside Rakan. Here's the invade.
Yeah, the flash in from Tarzan just wants to kill Bono. Doesn't even want to steal the red, but he may not actually be able to get there. Hands flashes over, hits the ward, and then hits the Lee Sin to grab that kill. Things on the side of Griffin. Realm Warp. Chovy not going to take it, but in goes Jarvan. Exactly right. The knockup comes down once again. The buff is actually going to be ignored, but the Jarvan might die here. That is the kill going over to Bono, as now he moves into Chovy, but he's taking a lot of damage. Sword trying to roam his way down, and they don't kill the Rise.
See a lot of top lane, but we've seen support, obviously. I think that one's gone. Spirit's gone. Speaking of gone.
Yep, he's dead. That is
Warrior Jarvan, baby.
Some pretty good layering of CC there as well, as Cataclysm's going to come forward, and Lava didn't have the Claw of Doom.
Nice answer to the Lissandra, if no Lissandra bans are inflicted. Bot lane has been an island so far. That was top lane previously.
Okay, we got the self-ult to come in from Lava, but Chovy should have it. One more auto's going to get her, and the Rise is just too far ahead. 2-0-3 now. Curial Scimitar already done. Takes the Blast Cone. There's a bit of a visual bug, but that's all right.
We've actually had less visual bugs on this patch, so we'll take it.
There's a 4-level advantage here for Chovy.
Yeah. I mean, Bono's had the worst one.
He has.
That part makes sense. Ocean Drake goes down. That's the early game Drake, exactly.
20 CS as well. Hanwha's only real good sign is here on the bottom side of the map. The Featherstorm does come in, but the Pop Blossom to answer. Key immediately goes into the stopwatch as Lava trying to get onto Viper, but you mentioned the movement speed steroid. That's the kickback. Viper needs one more auto here from Bono in order to go down, as Lahen's very close to dying as well, but Black Shield will keep him alive. Matter of time, and the Nico does go down, so that's one good thing here for Hanwha. Yep, the turret is certainly dead.
You don't want to join as the Jarvan because there's no reinforcements.
Oh,
you take it down, you get two plates up. There's almost no punishment there with the Aftershock resist coming in. Trying to gank him there doesn't work.
He's going to land, yep. Ultimate going to be utilized there as Pop Blossom is going to stun in the middle of the grand entrance. Key just gets dunked from Tarzan as now Bono gets stunned up. That is going to be the Blade Caller from Sangyun getting the snare. But Chovy is so aggressive with his Realm Warp.
For quite a while, so, and that's an approach you need to take. If Yorick's bot lane, I think things like this start to happen, and they just don't have a lot of answers, Atlas.
It's not really happening, is it, Papa? Sangyun and Key unable to defend that outer turret in mid lane. Ocean Drake is just going to get taken down as a byproduct of Griffin's gigantic lead. Tarzan almost has his Black Cleaver Baron yet again, and it's already down to below half health. Make that a 5th. Now Lahen's just walks straight into the enemy. He's disguised, of course, as that was the Shape Splitter. Lava almost dies from a couple of spells there as Tarzan gets the flash out of Lava. Does have to go into the ultimate, as now Tarzan tanking up the turret. Pop Blossom's going to be dodged there by the stopwatch. It was actually Lava keeping himself alive
after the Baron went down. The flash not being up on Sword means that this Baron buff swift push was usually the scariest thing to face, Jace, with Baron. Unlike the last time these two teams met, where game 1 especially required an emergency 8,000 gold down.
The Xayah looking for his Infinity Edge. It's going to be all right for the moment, but Chovy takes down the bottom inner turret.
How many members of Hanwha Live does it take to kill Chovy? Assuming he lives through the QSS. If he had a QSS, let's say.
Very, very many.
Yeah, like 4 probably?
Yeah, I don't know whether they've even got enough members. As Viper gets out of the baby cage, he's going to be fine. Julia is going to cop a lot of abuse, but eventually moves on back. As Tal's going to try and see whether he can get Sword away from the top side. Viper, cheeky auto attack there as the base is getting broken on the bottom side. Flag and Drag gets Jarvan over. That's going to be the advantage that Griffin needed. to break this one. Sword actually going down relatively low. The quickness great there from Key, and they are able to grab that. It is exchanged for an inhibitor, but this could be some respite now as Hanwha Life do have themselves the man advantage. Lava wants to utilize it as well. Good circle of frost as the knockup does come in from Tarzan. Once again, Lava's going to self-ult as Viper. Great positioning on the sidelines. Julia, his first target, but Lava just gets wiped out with that empowered auto attack. Good snare comes in. The Yorick is going to be not long for the world, but that's going to be Lehen's going down. Pop Blossom gets absolutely everyone as it's a double kill for the Rise. The autos are flying forward. Viper wants to get under the turret. It's the flash as Chovy picks up the triple.
5v4, no problem for Griffin. You knew it was coming, and yet you still always applaud it when it happens. The catch onto the Jace was actually very well done. The macro from behind, smart from Hanwha Life, but too far behind Atlas, and this will be the end of the game.
Yep. Turrets are going to go down, and Griffin, I don't know whether we can say it yet, Hanwha Life are relatively formidable opponents. They have been taking down a lot of the teams that Griffin in the last week weren't actually able to. But Hanwha weren't able to do it this time. Griffin, too strong on the day, adjusting their problems from week 8. Week 9 looking like very different beasts, and we'll see whether power rankings around the world are going to change now that Griffin look a lot better.
And I take your point, Atlas. We definitely still need more data points, but honestly, if you look at this series, the texture of this series, it felt like Griffin were handed a stress ball, you know, and we're just able to squish them. Felt like Hanwha Life with a stress ball for Griffin to work out their anger at going down last week to Genji and Afrika, and they just decimated them. The actual way they won this was such a one-sided series. We wanted to build it up to be Hanwha Life threatening that they could be a top 5 team, but so early in the piece, they were just lambs to the slaughter of Griffin. Griffin take down their opponents 2-0. We need to see them do it again.
Might even get into playoffs as well, as we are going to move into the MVP interview. So here's Jason for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with this interview translation, and we're going to be joined by Tarzan and Chovy from Griffin. So after 2 games losing streak, you guys got your rhythm back. How do you feel about today's victory?
일단 2연패를 일단 잊고 다시 저희
We
경기력
tried to just forget about the 2 games losing streak. We just wanted to get back to our form. And what has changed it as a team?
팀적으로 좀 안 맞아가지고.
Well, I think our teamwork wasn't really that solid, so that was the focal point. What about you, Chovy? You are back in the first place of the MVP standing.
딱히 아무 생각이 안 나요.
Well, I didn't really pay attention to
오늘
that.
승리는 굉장히 기쁘실 것
I don't
같아요.
know.
오늘 전체적으로 스스로 본인 플레이 어떻게
So
평가하시나요?
how do you rate your own play today?
오늘 경기
Speaking of today's series,
팀적인 움직임이
I think
거의
our
실수가
movement
없다는
as a
게
team
되게
was
만족스러워요.
flawless, so I'm really satisfied.
정말 그 연승을 달릴 때의 모습을 다시
So I
금방
think
찾아왔다고
Griffin is
생각을
back in
합니다.
the
자,
original
LCK
Griffin
얘기해보겠습니다.
of the unstoppable winning streak.
모든
So speaking
라인을
of game
다
1,
풀어줬다고 봐도
I think
과언이
you
아닌데요.
were
자르반 픽딱
participating
하실 때,
so much to all the
내가
lanes,
뭐
so
바텀뿐만 아니라 탑
were you
미드
confident
다
as soon as you
개입을
locked
해야
in
된다 이렇게
J4?
예상하셨나요?
예상은 안 했고 그냥
Well, I didn't really expect that,
게임은 이길 줄 알았던 것
but I knew that we were going to win the
자신감
game.
있으셨고요. 2렙 갱킹이 굉장히 인상적이었어요.
The 2-level gank was really impressive. You were camping in the bot lane, so that was a very unexpected gank for Hanwha Life Esports. So let's watch this replay together.
언제부터 계획하셨던 건가요?
When did you plan this?
레드 먹으면서
Well,
설계했던 것
when
같아요.
I was taking my red buff, I was planning on that gank.
예상을 했던 게
Then
아니고
did you not before the game?
이렇게 하셨고요. 자, 이렇게
And this is another highlight here.
그리고 여기 숨어 계셨습니다.
You were hiding here in the
여기에서
brush,
나왔던
and
예측
then
기창이 엄청났어요.
you just expected the movement of
이게
Kalista.
그냥 칼리스타가 계속 전멸각을 보길래
I could see that Sangyun was thinking of flashing forward, so I knew that that was the right timing.
저는 안 죽어가지고
And even though he doesn't use his flash, I knew that I won't
야,
be dying
위에서
there,
사실
so
그
it was a good
바텀
try.
도전을 하고 있었을 때 죽으면 어떻게 할까 걱정도 되지 않으셨나요?
then
사실
weren't you not
그래서 가긴
concerned
했는데
about that? Like,
칼리스타가 좀
your bot laners
고민하는 것
dying?
같아서 그래서
I
킬을
did,
잘
kind
낸
of.
것 같아요.
So, but we were able to
그
convert
카자흐스탄은
that into
저번에 뭐
kill.
러시아 풀고치도 그렇고 이번 예측 기창도 그렇고 상대의
So
심리를
you
정말
are
많이
really
파악을
good at
하시는
reading
것
the
같아요.
opponent's mind
실제
every
연습을
time
하실
with the
때도
cocoon or that
예상해서
combo.
다음 장면을
So
예측해서
do you usually
하는
do that during
연습을
the
많이
practice a lot? Expecting the
아니, 딱히
movement of your
그러진 않고
opponents?
그냥
No, not really.
게임을 되게 많이 해서
It's just because I played the games so much.
감이
So I have
많은 것
good
같아요.
sense.
카잔 선수의 감이 정말 빛났던 장면들
Well, that
두
is
번
a great
연속
instinct
만나봤습니다.
from you,
초비
Tarzan.
선수는 2세트에
And speaking of game two, Chobi,
리산드라를 상대에게 이제 내주셨어요.
you
사실
let
그리핀의
Hanwha to pick
리산드라에 대해
Lissandra.
생각이 굉장히 궁금하거든요.
So what are your thoughts about Lissandra, or what are the thoughts of Lissandra of Griffin?
일단 리산드라가 있는 게임을 하는 게 그냥
I mean,
제
playing game with
개인적으로
Lissandra
편하긴 해요.
is obviously more
네.
confident,
그래서
comfortable for me.
리산드라를 좀 뭐라 해야 되지? 막 하려고도
So,
하고
I don't know what to say.
그러니까 죽어도
We
하는 것
try to
상대방에게 있을 때도
like
편안하다고요?
play or let them
저는
play
편해요.
Lissandra.
오.
Well, for me,
사실
it is
리산드라가
also
반반
comfortable
드라라고
to
불리는
play up against
상황에서
Lissandra.
분명히 라인전에서 만나면 까다롭다고 생각을 하는데 어떤 점이
Is it tricky to
편하신가요?
play against it
일단
during the laning phase?
반반 갔을 때 제가 상대보다 더
Well, if I
잘
go
굴릴
50-50,
생각으로
I
게임을
try
좋아서
to snowball better than my opponent.
상대한테 반반 가게 하고 나중에
So if
성장해서
I let them just go
실력자
50-50,
하는 것 같아요.
Well, I can show the
리산드라
difference of
열어주는데
scaling
전혀
in the late
부담이
games.
없으시고요. 네, 오늘 라이즈로 여진 라이즈 들고
Today
나오셨는데요.
you had
난입이
the
아니라
aftershock
여진을 드신
rise.
이유가
Why
있나요?
was that?
일단 난입을 들면은 제가
Well,
CC를 아무리 빨리 풀어도
even though I
CC
just
엠파 같은 거 맞으면
drop the
죽는데
CC, well, I will die with
여진 들면은
the
스킬들 다
from the
꽂혀도
Lee
안
Sin's
죽을 거라
damage,
생각해서
but
들었어요.
with the
네,
aftershock,
오늘
I
정말
knew that
여진으로
I was gonna
많이
survive
봤고요.
longer in game.
그리고 또 리산드라를 솔킬 내는 장면도 있었죠.
And you also saw
함께
look at Lissandra in
만나보겠습니다.
game, so let's check out this replay together.
자, 이때 리산드라에 조금의 실수가 있긴 했지만 그래도 초비 선수가 끈질기게
Wava had a
잡아가는
bit of a
모습이
mistake
인상적이었어요.
over there, but you were keep chasing her and you took Lissandra down. Wow, so what was going on?
리산드라 집을 끊으러 갔는데
Well, I just wanted to stop the base,
각이 나오길래
but I just see the angle
잡았던
coming,
것
so
같아요.
I just took her
네,
down.
그리고 여기서 리신을 상대로 저런 장면이 나왔습니다.
And that was a very
기억이 나시나요?
great moment. Your mind game against Listen. Do you remember that?
교란시키려는
Yes, I do.
작전이었죠?
네.
You were trying to
네.
confuse him, right? Yes, I was.
네, 교란시키려는 작전이었다고 말씀을 해주셨습니다. 자, 그리핀이 다시 승리를 가져갔기
Griffin
때문에 이제 다음
got their
승리도
victory
더
back in their
기대가
pocket,
됩니다.
so we
남아
are
게이밍을
expecting a
상대로
lot more from you guys
이기셔야
again.
이제 1위를
And you
지키실
guys
수
really
있단
want that
말이에요.
victory up
어떻게
against Talon
임하실지
Gaming to
얘기해주세요.
secure your spot in the first place, right?
저희가 경기력이 완벽하면은
Well, if
좋은
our
경기력으로
performance is perfect,
이길 수 있다고 생각하고
I think we
열심히
can secure that victory. So we're gonna prepare as hard as we can.
플레이 기대해 보겠고요. 초비 선수도 어떤 점 많이
And
준비하실
Chobi,
계획인가요?
What
저도
is the focal
그
point of the
경기력을
preparation?
완벽하게 하려고 같은
I'll do my
생각을
best
가지고
to
있어서
just keep our performance as
경기력을
perfect as we
완벽하게
can.
하는데 집중할 것 같아요.
So we're just
네,
gonna
그리핀의
focus
더
on making our
완벽한 모습
performance
기대해
and
보도록
form
하겠습니다. 또
flawless.
필두에는 타잔 선수, 초비 선수가 있을 것 같고요. 네, 오늘
So
인터뷰
thank you very much for this
감사드립니다.
interview from Tarzan and Chobi, and
네,
I'm gonna
그리핀의
pass it back
다시
to our
찾아온
casters.
승리와
Thank you.
함께 중계석 연결할게요.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun. Fantastic to hear.